What's up guys, my name is XANAA and Merry Christmas everyone. I'd figure for the occasion I would again celebrate uploading this video by celebrating a very special time of the year. Merry Christmas everyone. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 is actually a game I have very little experience playing prior to making this video. I got it together with my PlayStation 2 last year, and ever since then I touched it maybe only a few times actually. But that's about to change. I'm about to look at this entire game and yeah, strap yourself in. Cause the fucking the Need for Speed sleigh is going, so yeah. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 came out October 2nd, 2002 in North America for a whole new generation of consoles. It came out for the PlayStation 2, for the first time on Xbox, and for the first time on a Nintendo console. The PlayStation 2 version was developed by Black Box, with the GameCube and Xbox release coming out the same day, both being developed by EA Seattle. They're back at it once more, and then October 25th, the PC release came out, also developed by EA Seattle, and it's basically the same version as the console games they made. Europe got the games later as per usual, and I'll look at the console release first. Alright, so this is our main menu, and yeah, this is the menu. We have Hot Pursuit, World Racing, and Options. Well, let's go to World Racing first, and here we have 3 different game modes. Quick Race, Challenge, and Championship. Well, it's been a while since I've played the game, so Quick Race it is. And straight into the action we go, no custom settings or anything. Further on that soon. It's been a while, but this actually still feels pretty good. Like any game, you have to get used to the overall feel and handling, but yeah, this is nice. Right off the bat, the graphics are also a huge improvement, but that's given due to the next gen console change. The car models look so much better, and every course is very pleasant to look at. Alright, well, let's go into Challenge. So this is where you have access to all the settings. The player setting is here in case you add a second controller. Skill level is, well, you get the drill, and here in setup we can adjust the race settings to our liking. Single race is basically what we were just doing. Knockout is again per race. The player finishing the race in last place gets eliminated, and in lap knockout a player is eliminated every lap, as you can see. Then if we proceed, we can choose whichever car we want to drive, and then here we can choose which tracks we want to play. And here you see lap knockout into action. And then we have championship. What we have here are individual events that sometimes consist of one or several different races, usually with a different gimmick each time. They're divided into an event tree, or event potato, I guess. Here you unlock all kinds of cars and courses, and the challenges become more and more demanding the further you progress. The events range between what I said earlier, sometimes a singular race or multiple bunched into one event. Or it can be basically a time trial event, or for example this V12 challenge race with the cars exclusive to participate. Well, that was World Racing for you. We're gonna dive into Hot Pursuit mode next. Right, next up, Hot Pursuit, and here we have 4 different race modes. Quick Race, You're the Cop, Challenge, and Ultimate Racer. So I'll also be going into this Quick Race mode. Like before, we head straight into the action. The gameplay doesn't change much other than now we're entering the police stuff territory. The bar at the top activates whenever there's a cop nearby. The X's at the top turn red whenever you get busted. On the third strike you get arrested and DNF. The stars on the screen basically indicate the activity of heat you have, which you gain from collecting Need for Speed points. You earn points during the race by either gaining air, reaching a certain speed, running roadblocks, etc. By pressing the left trigger, the game will rotate the camera around our vehicle, and by pressing the right one, the game shows us high precision by showing us what's up ahead. This will become a key element as we progress through the game. Well, let's head into You're the Cop. You choose a cop car and, well, it's off we go. What exactly am I meant to do here? Now, I don't recall the game ever telling you exactly what you're meant to do, and so recording this part for my review, I got stuck, so I started pressing random buttons, and oh! Okay, so you're meant to activate your cop sirens first, and then you can begin taking them down. Oh, I'm an idiot. Yeah, as you can see, pressing R3 activates NOS, that's just what it is. Pressing left trigger calls in a helicopter, and then pressing right trigger calls in a spike strip. Then to take them down, you just continue to ram them. Challenge mode is quick race, just as last time. We can choose a car and track and then dive into the action, and then ultimate racer, yeah, it's our potato plant from earlier again. This is likely where you'll be spending your time for the majority of the game. Have the recent Need for Speed games lacked challenge or incentive to give your all because of a ridiculously low difficulty? No, then buckle the fuck up, because this game gives you no mercy. The challenges remain somewhat the same. Do the single race, beat the event before the time runs out, do the knockout tourney while there's cops. Okay, but so you'll enter an event, be on your merry way, you know, and then there will be a cop. And then there will be chaos. And then there's gonna be more cops, and then there will be a helicopter. So make sure you never forget about this helicopter, because it just straight up drops exploding barrels onto the track. There will be multiple different roadblocks, just a regular one and a spike strip. Now the spike strip one I often have a difficult time evading, so this is where the zone camera comes into handy. So yeah, I recommend you absolutely use these when you see a roadblock on the map. Just as a reminder, you can get busted twice and it will reset the wanted level. Next, the courses. So first thing to mention is that several maps displayed on the track selector screen are interconnected to one another, like in the first Hot Pursuit game. So here for example we have Ancient Ruins, where we pass this bridge and then take a right. Now in Calypso Coast we take a left instead. And then there's a point-to-point event that's pretty much just a drive around the entire map. So yeah, Ancient Ruins. This is the first track I wanted to cover because of how simplistic it is. Anyway, 20 seconds into the event you see the structure here. Don't do what I did. A little later down the road we pass a few structures and scoot through the corners. I pass straight through these little zigzags, and then towards the end of the course we have this little town and we take the shortcut across the bridge here. Just around the corner is the start-finish straight. Then Calypso Coast. We drive around this coliseum and cross this bridge. Then we can take this shortcut, however in the later stages of the game your car might be too fast to take it efficiently. Then later we drive over and then beneath this huge fire duct that takes us to the town we passed in the last event. This time we take a left, and then up ahead the road there is actually a second town. We take the shortcut, pass by the shipyard, and then that's a lap done. And then Mediterranean Paradise is basically the point-to-point of the last two events, but put together into one massive sprint. I'll talk about this one the most just to get you up to speed on how this works. During this event, we get a pretty good idea on where exactly we drive at what point of the map, and you can see how it all connects with one another. In this case, we're in Greece, and occasionally we pass the Greek ruins. Then we have the parklands, starting off with coastal parklands. This is like your typical introduction to the game course, and then later on ahead we have a split path. I'd say in most instances it's worth going to the right side. Then down the road there will be a tunnel, and then a little after the tunnel there is an ongoing forest fire. But if we go back before we entered the tunnel, there's a whole entire section we can just skip. After we leave the Amazon we stick to the freeway, and there you have it, that's a lap. Then next we go to National Forest. Starting off, we can take a shortcut to the right here that will eventually lead us to this bumpy road. We go around the corner, past the straight, make another turn, and it's into the Amazon we go again. This should look familiar to you guys, but instead we take a left here, and after exiting the tunnel, that's basically, yeah, that's it, that's the track. Then Scenic Drive is this place's point-to-point event, and it's actually not that ridiculously big. Then we go to Alpine, starting off with Fall Winds. We start off relatively simple with up ahead a few country cabins, and then later on there will be a shortcut here to the right. And it goes on forever. Oh, there we go. I don't feel like an idiot for doing that. But then a little later up ahead, yeah, there will be yet another alternative path. It leads us into this active mine, and then, yeah, we're out of here. Then we drive onto this massive fire duct, and after that, yeah, the course has nothing exciting going on for it anymore. We make it past the finish line, and jeez, look at that lap time. Then let's go to Alpine Trail. Okay, let's start this puppy and not follow the other cars. Be sure to cross onto the other side cautiously rather than dying. Then after a bit of sightseeing, we can just cut across this part of the map until we're back on the road. Then we follow the road until we come across another alternative route. Make sure you always take this one. Then a little down the road, we have a stone hinge over here, and after a bit more zigzaggage, we make it to the start-finish line. Then Autumn Crossing is just... Ugh. What am I looking at? I'll cover a brief portion of this map. This map is a nightmare. Then we go to the desert and enter this track called Outback, and this course is a lot for us to take in. We appear to be at some Air Force, and then, if we stick to the right side, there's a cheeky shortcut for us here, and we can combine this shortcut by taking another shortcut, and... Isn't life wonderful? Then we enter a tunnel where we can take another shortcut, and yeah, then we make it to the Outback section, and I just straight up cut across this anytime I can. We make it around this bend where a sandstorm is happening, and yeah, just take this alternative route right here, and then the rest of the track is pretty simple. But you can also enter the aircraft hangar if you so desire. Then we go to Desert Heat. At the start of this event, there will be a split path, and I just always take the right side. Now, the cacti you can hit, but the trees are still a big no-no. Anyway, this should look familiar, except now we take a left here, and then just go with the flow. I find this part tricky. You can take another shortcut here, which is pretty difficult to see, and then after we take the turn, we can just take another cheeky shortcut here. Then we have a waterfall, and that's the lap. Then Rocky Canyon essentially is this place, this grand tour of the entire desert. Yeah. Then lastly, the tropics. Starting off, we have the island outskirts. This course is a 4-lane freeway for about most of the track, and I think it all looks really pleasant even if it reminds me a bit of Outrun. This track has a ton of elevation changes, and then a bit up ahead there will be this small village we storm through. Then we pass what seem to be a few very expensive buildings, but if we go back to that bridge we could cross it and it will take us past this beach. Then we pass this beach resort and we're back at the bridge where the race started. And if we go back a little and stay on the outside of this turn, it will take us to this beach where a movie set is happening. Don't hit the trees. What sick bastard. And then we have Palm City Island. Starting off, the city branches into two paths, and I'd say make sure you always brake here so you can take this path. It does lead us into another potential shortcut, but I don't like taking this one, to be honest. Then just up ahead, there will be this village, and there will be these plenty of little inwards roads. Make sure you take them. And then it's just us scaling the mountain up and down until we get back to the city, and you'll realize that was all just one lap. And then Tropical Circuit is basically an entire tour of the island. I do think it's pretty cool how the city part connects to the neighborhood part. One other thing to mention is that all tracks have a second version, but this is just a reversed layout of a track. And then for the cars. While I won't be covering all of them, I think a lot of these are very awesome inclusions, and it's great there's a ton of new added cars put into the game, you know? Given the last game only had Porsches and then Need for Speed High Stakes roster was mostly an evolution of Need for Speed Freeze roster. Speaking on that, this game's car roster is admittedly again more of an evolution of High Stakes roster, I guess. See what I mean? Speaking about the vehicles, the Ford Falcon and the Holden Monero or GTS Coupe are no longer exclusive vehicle releases. I'd like to say because of the new generation of consoles, they wanted to show off what these cars looked like at much better graphics, you know? Like, one last time how they always had it envisioned. And then some of my favorite cars in-game are the likes of the Murcielago and the Porsche Carrera GT, which happen to be in its concept stages, I guess. The last concept car thrown into a Need for Speed game for a while, and then there will be these side challenges you can do in order to unlock, like, what is this, like a tuned version, I guess? Every vehicle has an alternative version with most of the time some wacky livery, but This makes me ask the question, why not just bring the livery editor from Porsche Unleashed back? That did the job. But okay, I guess they may have not had enough time to do that or something. And hi! Let's look at the PC version next. So, I've got a story for you. As per usual, I installed the game how you're supposed to, only for it to just fail launching the game. Now, out of all ways I had to solve this problem, the one that worked for me was getting a different launch.exe file. What the fuck? I managed to at least open the game and play a race on the occasion the game doesn't close itself for no reason. Anyway, this main menu here is much more straight to the point. We have Quick Race, Multiplayer, Single Challenge, Championship, and Hot Pursuit. Well, let's go to Quick Race. It again takes us straight into a random event in a random setting. Multiplayer takes us to this menu. You can expect there are still groups of people playing this to this day. Single challenges again where you can select the rules and the such and whatnot. You choose which track and then your car, and yeah, this is the game. Other than the graphics being much more appealing, that's the only thing this game really has going on that's different for it. If we go to Hot Pursuit, we again have this upside down potato tree with events scattered out, but it's in a much more organized pattern this time. Championship is the exact same, and in case you couldn't tell the difference between Hot Pursuit and Championship, one's with cops, the other without any. The tracks are all the same, the vehicles are all the same. Usually the PC edition would be getting extra features that allow us to choose whichever car color we want, but that's also absent here, and in terms of modding, well, as far as I'm aware, with various widescreen mods in mind, this is really it. You have people uploading their custom car and it has to replace one in-game. I'm sure the background process is a bit different, but that's really it. There's no adding extra cars like there is in these two games. You can really only replace car mods with one of the pre-existing cars in the game. And other than that, I honestly don't know if I have any further comments about both these games. This was the first time we had EA licensed music from other artists in a Need for Speed game. The music genres range between techno and rock. I'd say the rock tunes go really hard, but they do get repetitive if you've played the game all day, and then techno is, well... There's other things I also quickly want to address. AI rubber banding is very obviously represented in this game. You can find yourself in the lead with an AI making a mistake behind you, but they'll just catch up somehow the next lap, even if you've been driving fantastically, and yeah. Alright then, thoughts, feelings, emotions, yeah, I had an enjoyable time playing this game. I did mention in the start of this video that I had prior experience of playing this game before making this video, and I think I only played it for about 4 to 5 hours because after then I have already seen all of it, kind of, basically. But taking a deeper dive into the game, you come to appreciate more aspects and features of the game, especially if you've played the other older Need for Speed games before this one. So that's gonna be it. I guess in terms of polish, the game sometimes is still kind of, it reminds you that it's a 2002 game, but there's nothing you can do about a product of its time. So that's gonna be it. Thank you guys all for watching. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff, and Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for watching, and peace the fuck out!